Welcome, folks of the internet, purveyors of the internet, back again to Sean Connolly and Ben Whelan here for Media Reload's Digital Playground. First, we're going to start a little mini segment called What Are We Doing Right Now? And Sean, what are we doing right now? I'm getting ready to play Overwatch, and you just finished Uncharted 4.
I did, and it was freaking amazing.
Yeah?
I don't know. So Uncharted 2 for the longest time has been like my favorite game of all time. Like I'm completely comfortable with being able to say that out loud and not be like, oh, maybe it was this game. No, it was Uncharted 2. And now Uncharted 4 has raised the bar. Like it's that good. And I think it did a lot of what Captain America Civil War did, where the first two of the acts, if you want to say maybe like 2/3 of the game, you're on this huge roller coaster ride and big explosions and things, crazy things are happening. Then it focuses in on Drake and Elena and Sully and all these characters that you've gotten to love over the course of these 4 games, 5 games if you include the PS Vita game. And it settles everything down and really gets emotional at the end.
Yeah.
And then they include an epilogue. They kind of leave it open for maybe there'll be more Uncharted games, maybe probably not with Drake, but with other characters in that. In that or in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. So this is a game and a franchise that's known for these huge set pieces, coupled with this not really Tomb Raider-esque problem solving, but there's some puzzle elements to it.
Yeah, so there's some puzzles, and those are back. There's a lot of climbing. They added the grappling hook this time, which would have made things so much better in the previous games. So it's a really cool feature. When you get the grappling hook right, when you jump off a cliff and you throw the grappling hook and you swing and you shoot somebody in the head and then land and do a roll, like it's awesome.
Okay.
But then when you don't get it right, you're just hanging there getting shot.
This is the agony of defeat.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a ton of fun. The multiplayer is really cool too. It's the best it's been so far. It's pretty stable or solid overall in the past couple games that it's been in.
Okay.
It's not really the main selling point, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this is a PS4 exclusive, right?
Correct.
All right, so look for that at your local Media Reload. PS4, Uncharted 4. What is it called? Thief's End?
Yeah, Thief's End.
Thief's End.
Yep.
And it's funny you bring up multiplayer because I have been playing. I got into the open beta for Overwatch, so I played 4 days of it. Not a lot.
All of it. You played the full.
The whole game was released, and I believe it'll be the actual release version that we played. It was basically a stress test for the servers. And you described Uncharted as freaking awesome, and that's exactly what Overwatch is. It is a team-based shooter, class-based shooter, meaning that there are different individual roles that are going to be fulfilled within every team of, what is it, 5 people? 5 people that play. So it's a little bit like Team Fortress 2, if some of you people out there, I'm sure, are familiar with Team Fortress 2, whereas you have different classes that do more damage, different classes that take more damage, different classes that heal damage. The twist that Overwatch has on it is that there are about 4 or 5 of each of these, and they all do those things in different ways.
Okay.
So, take for example, the main tank of the game is named Reinhardt, and his purpose is to help hold points and advance. There's a lot of escort type missions or maps where you're advancing essentially like a car or a package towards an objective point. And he usually sits on that car with a giant shield and absorbs incoming damage. And then it becomes the enemy team's job to kind of get around him and your job to keep him alive.
Sure.
Now, the other main tank that you see from the trailer is Winston. He's a huge gorilla, and he disrupts things. He has some abilities that, and it's a class-based shooter, so every class has a couple different triggerable abilities that go on cooldowns.
Sure.
So Winston disrupts people, he knocks people around. He basically is good at capturing things because he can break up static defenses.
Okay. So does he have more like area of effect-based attacks, or how does
his basic attack is like a little ranged beam weapon. It looks kind of like the Ghostbusters gun.
The proton pack?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
A gorilla with a proton pack?
It doesn't do much damage, but it has the advantage of going through shields.
Now they do proton packs.
So he's really effective at getting to the support characters that have lots of shields, or getting through shield teams.
Okay.
And then his ultimate ability, it basically earthquakes everything immediately around him. So it gets really hard to fight as an enemy team around a Winston that has an ultimate ability going.
Sure, okay.
Some of the damage dealers, like the sniper in the game is not considered a damage dealer, it's considered a defender, even though you can use her as
high DPS?
As a damage dealer in an assault squad.
Okay.
She's considered a defensive hero.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, snipers are pretty slow in general, so there wouldn't be a high DPS there. It would be more.
Yeah, it's not damage per second, which is a DPS for those of you. I'm just assuming that a lot of, hopefully some of my friends that don't know these nerd terms are going to start watching these videos, and DPS stands for damage per second.
Right.
So yeah, sniper rifle, long reload time,
Yeah.
long time in between shots, not a lot of DPS. But then there's like one of the damage classes is a very assault-oriented Rocketeer. She literally has a rocket hover pack and shoots a rocket launcher. Good
Sounds
area
fun.
of effect damage. Super fun character to play. Super hard to play. It's really, because of how sensitive the mouse controls are, it's really easy to hit someone hovering in the air.
Okay.
With your weapons on the other
Gotcha.
team.
And I imagine she's pretty squishy overall as well, which means
not a great health pool.
Yeah.
On the plus side, one of the other healers can fly, so that can get, if your team has good synergy, it can get really annoying.
That's
But you contrast that to like Tracer, which is the title character. That's the British accented, short-haired pixie cut chick.
Yep.
She speeds, like teleports around the battlefield and does light damage in a burst. So she's a harasser. She's qualified as damage because if she gets on a healer or a squishy or a low health target, she can finish it off. But what she's generally doing is disrupting.
Okay.
And making room for the assault classes to come in.
Yeah.
And it's just it creates such an excellent flow of game. It takes learning curve isn't huge, but I definitely find myself listening to people tell me why certain things work against other things.
Sure.
This is good on this map unless they have this.
Gotcha.
You know, there's a lot of
strategy involved.
It's
in this.
more than rock paper scissors. One thing doesn't necessarily always counter the other thing. It's map specific, and it's the players need to support each other on that team too.
That's really cool.
It's really cool.
Do you feel like that would be something that would eventually be a pretty popular esport?
Yeah,
okay.
I think they would have to nail the tracking camera.
Okay.
Because the games are frantic and fast.
Okay.
When you're talking about esports, other than like Smash Brothers or Rocket League, a lot of the action is 10 seconds of intense violence, we'll call it.
Sure.
Structured around 4 or 5 minutes of posturing in Dota 2, in StarCraft, and in League of Legends. Or even in the World of Warcraft tournaments. And the average game length is 8 minutes, if that, you know, and things are happening really quickly. So yeah, if they got a good observer mode going, it would be incredibly entertaining to watch, especially, I mean, the game is beautiful, Blizzard made an incredibly good-looking, it runs really well and smoothly.
Okay, yeah, it looks really, really clean and real simple.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Blizzard does really well with most of their character designs. You know, they're simple, but they built an entire world around that concept. And it looks really well.
And it doesn't suffer from that like particle overload that people complain about World of Warcraft sometimes, where there's too many effects going off at once. Because of the way that they time the reloading of abilities and things like that, there's very rarely more than 2 or 3 things going on at once. And when those many things are going on at once, it's more of a visceral, impactful feel than it is like, I don't know what's going on. It's like, oh my God, we just all did this at the same time. That's weird and awesome.
Right, okay. That's really cool. That's on everything, right? It's on PS4, Xbox One, and PC?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Do you know if they're going to do any cross play?
Right now they aren't, although the PC version is controller supported.
Okay.
So ideally because I wouldn't, if I was playing it on an Xbox or a PS4, I would not want to go against someone playing it on a mouse and keyboard. It's just so much more precise. So what I would like to see if they were going to do cross-platform, that you had to have your controller plugged in and be playing on a controller to go cross-platform with it.
Yeah, I agree with that, but there are different ways people can use mouse and keyboard on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, and I just don't know the answer to that. The only guys I've been playing it with are PC guys.
Yeah.
So I haven't even had the opportunity. I don't think the beta was on PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah,
oh, they were?
Oh. Yeah, and I just picked it up for Xbox One. I'll be playing that as well, but so I'm sorry I won't be playing with you on PC, but maybe
we can still share some more stories and some replays, man.
Yeah, exactly. So. The one other thing that I am doing now, and I haven't actually done it yet because I just got it in the mail today, is the HTC Vive, which is the Steam preferred VR headset.
Okay.
It's the one that does like the total room immersion. So they give you a couple cameras that you set up, and they give you a couple controllers, and you have like a 16 by 16 foot area that you can move around in and do stuff in.
Okay.
And the game tells you if you're going to run into stuff and all that. You know, it has the collision detection on the outside for you, so you don't have to worry about tripping over stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It requires a pretty hefty PC to run.
Yeah.
Which I do have because I do all the editing and stuff for the show and for my free time.
You can render Jurassic World on that thing.
Yes, exactly. I'm excited to start getting into the world of VR, and I really want to start reviewing games and stuff like that for this show.
Will we review them in virtual reality?
No, we will with a 360-degree video. We have to. How do we not? Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Look for that coming up, guys. Yeah. And thanks for stopping by. Please remember, if you guys are liking us, please like us, share us, and always comment. We had some great comments on the Game of Thrones videos we posted last week. Feel free to comment on any of these videos with what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We love the feedback. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.